Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. I'm Chris Hansen tonight in New York City, and we have a very cool, important show tonight. Two guests are joining us. Tamara, who for about 3 years was Onision's main mod in the Discord. She has an amazing story to tell. You've heard some of it here and there. Tonight, you will get it all on this show. With Tamara is a fellow you may be familiar with from internet circles, Discord, Twitter, etc., Heatboss, who has for the last several months been cataloging, archiving all of Onision, Greg, James, the YouTube psycho brat from Washington State's activities, from everything stemming from his OnlyFans to apparently now Pornhub, which is how he's going to try to continue making his living in his own special way, as well as his various other internet activities in which he is involved. The investigation into Onision, Greg, James, the YouTube psycho brat from Washington State, is continuing tonight. I've been in contact with law enforcement in that part of the country. We will get an update from them very soon, but the investigation continues to be very active. So with that, I would like to welcome Tamara and Heatboss to Have a Seat with Chris Hansen. Guys, how are you tonight? Thanks for being here.
Hello, Chris. How
Hi.
are you tonight?
I'm great. Both of our guests joining us right now. Tamara, I'm going to start with you. How is it that a young woman from Canada ends up being involved with Onision and ultimately becoming probably his most trusted and main mod in the Discord?
Well, actually, it started. I stumbled upon his YouTube channel in like 2009 to 11 when I'm a Banana became popular, and you know, I kind of liked his comedy, his sketches, and his humor. And then he had a Patreon come out in 2017, and I joined that. I paid the lowest tier, the $5 tier, and I joined the Discord. And from there, it just kind of, I was very shy of course, at first, but gradually opened up and met a lot of really cool people from the Discord. So I don't regret that. And then eventually Greg and I started hitting it off really well in chat. We had the same kind of banter, and we just hit it off. And I don't know what happened. Eventually, we just, you know, he decided to gift me with mod one day. I earned it somehow. And next thing you know, I'm just one of the moderators on the Discord, and like some of the forums, like the more recent ones, not the ones that Rag was on or Kel, or the recent new ones. But
And did you have any sense, Tamara, when you first got involved with this, about Onision's history, his relationships with young women who started as fans, with allegations of grooming, inappropriate behavior, berating people, harassing young women? Did you have any sense of that when you first got involved in this?
to be honest, no, because when I joined the Discord, I joined to get to know the fandom, like Greg and his content, and I didn't really know a lot of the allegations. Like I knew some, but not like to this extent. Like now I have more inside like information because I spent the last like 2 months just researching tons, and I'm pretty shocked, I have to say. I never.
Some of the survivors, the women who were allegedly involved with Greg, James, Kai, have been very public and come forward. Some have cooperated with investigators. What do you make of their stories? Does it bother you that you worked for this guy and yet these women have poured out their hearts about abuse, and after they've reported the abuse and gone public with it, they've then become the targets of harassment, very public harassment on social media and on YouTube by Greg James himself?
my heart really goes out to them, especially Shiloh, Sarah, and Billy, and Ayala too. All of them, they're so strong for being able to come forward with their story. And and to be honest, when Sarah was there, we didn't even know. Like, Greg kept it such a secret from us in the Discord, and we never heard her on any live streams. We never heard her in the background come in, not once. Like, he was very, very good at hiding her. And apparently he even hid her from one of his real life friends too. So that was pretty sleazy. And, a lot of people will actually notice that the last year I really stopped defending him. Because I don't condone his actions. And there's a reason I never actively voiced anything about him on Twitter or anything. Because I just didn't agree with how he was being.
How soon into being a moderator to having a position of responsibility in this Discord world of Onision did you start to think, wow, maybe this isn't what I thought it was going to be? Maybe he isn't the entertaining, creative, clever guy who I started to follow. Maybe I need to get out of here.
By how he was treating people, how he played favorites. He played a lot of favorites. In the Discord, he was horrible with, when we would play group games and stuff like that, he had a tendency to try to control the narrative and decide what, whose teams would go on. And I thought that was really scummy. I'm like, you don't do that. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I have to stop the chat. I saw something really disturbing that somebody said, and I don't know that person in real life, but okay.
Where did you see that?
Somebody deleted the comment saying that they know me in real life and I'm a confirmed liar. And I'm like, okay, I don't know anybody.
It's always a two-edged sword when you're on a show like this live as to whether or not you watch the comment stream or not.
Yeah, I do.
I understand, and I understand why, but I choose not to. Somebody whispers in my ear if there's something I need to see. It's quite something, and I bet.
Oh, here it is. I know Tamara in real life. She's a horrible liar. I don't know if you saw it just pop out, but yeah, I wanted to address that really quick because I don't know anybody. I don't know anybody from the Discord in real life.
Who would say that then about you and lie?
Probably Greg. It's probably him on an alt.
Do you think Greg is in there right now commenting on this?
Definitely. He's definitely watching.
And what do you think that is? Is he afraid of what you're going to say tonight?
Probably. I'm not doubting that.
Why does he fear you, Tamara?
Because I've seen a lot of shit. And he knows, pardon my language, and I have recently come into some very disturbing information that he allowed a pedophile to be a moderator in the Discord.
And how do we know this, Tamara? How do we know that there was a pedophile, a predator, somebody who improperly, pursued underage boys or girls in the Discord?
Greg recently did a live stream on his Obro channel where he got wind of it and he banned the person and for asking nudes for two underage minors. First of all, Greg, why do you even have minors in the chat when it's 18 and plus? Really?
So let's back up a minute here. Greg kicked this guy out.
Yes, he did.
Predatory behavior. Doesn't that stand with Onision for a second there? I'm not defending him in any way because I know what he's capable of doing, but I mean, there was somebody who was misbehaving, breaking the law, being a predator, and he was kicked out. Or was it that Greg was forced to do this because it became so he got shamed into it?
I think he got shamed into it. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have cared because, the person was apparently a moderator for a while in the Discord, and then,
All right. So take me back to the early days in the Discord, and Heatboss, stand by because you've got a lot to say, and I want to get to you in a minute here too. But Tamara, take me back to the early days in the Discord. What was it like? Who's in there? What's being said? What's being done? And was this a cult-like environment?
It was definitely, it wasn't so much culty as it was more like an echo chamber. Like we had to agree with everything, you know. We weren't allowed to engage with trolls or haters. And we weren't allowed to look at anything negative about him. It was really horrifying when I started wondering why. So I made my own server so that we could all have our own voice and, speak out about, it just, it was not normal behavior. And I remember talking and venting to a few friends often, like how it doesn't seem normal that there's always a lot of young girls around him, and like why does he it was always pretty close knit. Like he in the Discord, he often had certain chats where like you could not participate. Like he would only let certain people see certain parts of the chat, so I really don't have anything to say about the part that I couldn't see, but he was very controlling.
So he's controlling. He was surrounded in some ways by women who were suspected of being underage or very close to being underage, right at the border of being
Yes, 18 stopped. It stopped right at 18, usually.
What stopped right at 18?
Like, the people that he hung out with, he was like, okay, he even said it recently in a live stream. I think I linked you the video. That like, if to avoid legal matters, just keep it at 18. And I'm like, why would you need to say that? Are you like encouraging people to be predators now? Like, what the hell? Like, no, you don't do that. Also, I want to address something somebody said. Can you explain why she was victim blaming months ago? I didn't victim blame. I said an offhanded comment that was taken out of context, and I apologize for it already to Sarah directly, actually sending her a DM. And I did, and I did, try to reach out and apologize. So I did say a lot of stupid offhanded comments in the heat of the moment, and I am gonna own up to that.
Can you characterize what was said?
I think like I can't even remember. Like if it was so bad, then like if it was so bad, why? If it was so bad, why did she keep going over there, or something like that?
And what was the response? Victim shaming?
Yeah, they were accusing me of victim, but it,
Like, and what was the point you're trying to make?
Like it couldn't have been that bad if she kept going over there. No, knowing how bad it was. Like I said it really badly, and I really did not mean it like that. Like it was. Right.
But just to be clear, I know, we know that, based upon Sarah's interviews and everything, we know that it was bad. So back to the Discord now.
Yeah, sorry about that. I do want to address as much as I can on here because I know people have questions and I'm happy to answer them. Like
no, and we're gonna do all that too. Don't worry about that. We're gonna do all that. So in the Discord, you start to see things that bother you. You start to see controlling behavior on the part of Onision. You start to see perhaps underage people, girls in there.
Yes,
inappropriate contact. Do you think that this whole enterprise was set up, one, to lure people in to support Greg financially, and two, to bring in a fresh supply of underage followers for him, for his either online or some kind of satisfaction?
I can't speak for what happened, like in behind closed doors, because I'm sure like a lot of stuff might have happened behind closed doors, but in like in DMs, but in public, I never saw anything too out of the unusual.
What made you the first time? Now you left and came back something like 3 times.
At least 4 times I left and came back.
4 times, okay. Yeah. Why did you leave Greg the first time?
Because he would not stop with the emotional abuse. He would always put me down and make me feel like dirt.
And when you say that, Tamara, break it down for me. What would he do to emotionally abuse you and to make you feel like dirt?
He started a rumor that I slept with animals, and
Wait. You started a rumor that you slept with animals,
yes,
as in terms of having a sexual connection with animals.
he started a rumor that that I slept with dogs or something like that, and for the longest time I never understood why. You know, like why people were calling me that, because I didn't get it. But then he admitted that he started the rumor in the Discord, and I'm like, I got so mad I left. But then people were like, please come back, and I felt, bad for abandoning my friends, so I kept coming back, even though my health was deteriorating at the time.
And the second time you left, what happened then?
That it was the same. He wouldn't stop being emotionally abusive with me over and over,
Why was he abusing you? What did he get out of that, Tamara?
Attention from probably attention. That's all he craves. That's all he wants.
So he'll do whatever he has to do to get attention, and we'll get to that with Heatboss in just a minute as to what he's doing as we speak to get attention. Did you go into this interview tonight, Tamara, thinking that he would be stalking and harassing you during the interview, perhaps?
Yep. Of course I knew. That's why I was afraid to ever come on, because I knew he would, and I also didn't want to take the story away from the victims, like the real victims, because they're the ones who deserve all of our, support. They deserve the spotlight. I'm just here to shed some light on how the Discord is. And it's really disgusting how he, I knew he was going to do it. I knew it. And he's probably he's probably going to go on a live stream about this too and rant. But you know what? Come at me, bitch. I'm sorry, but come on. I'm done being scared of him. I'm really done.
What was it that scared you most about him when you were a mod in the Discord?
Oh, God. The thing that he could do was, he tore a lot of my friendships apart. I made a lot of great friends, and he, oh my God, I can't even concentrate, because thinking about it is just going to make me cry.
And did he do this for sport? Did he do it to make himself feel powerful? I mean, why do you take somebody who's loyal to you, who just wants to be a part of something that they think perhaps is bigger than them, because you entertain them in some way or touch them in some way creatively, and you turn on them in this most vicious, emotionally destructive way?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cry.
No. It's all right. It's all right. Look, I've been down this road with a lot of people who've been affected by Craig James, Onision, and the damage is deep and hurtful.
He ruined a lot of my friendships, and he turned a lot of people against me, and I was nothing but nice and kind to him. And yeah, people are saying I got kicked out, but the actual reason I got kicked out was because I turned to him and I said, "Yo, can you stop berating me in public chat?" And next thing you know, not even 4 minutes later, he sends me a DM that says, "Ask YouTube for a refund." He doesn't even tell me why or anything. And I felt like I let down a lot of people, a lot of friends.
I'm so sorry that you had to go through this by him. And, I mean, let's just be clear here. No one deserves this. You don't deserve it. The other mods didn't deserve it. Don't deserve it. The public doesn't deserve what he's exposing them to now. Certainly the young women who are survivors in their personal relationships with him don't deserve this, but this is very clearly an abuse, and I'm sorry you had to go through it. You're very brave for being here tonight.
I don't know. I never fit in anywhere. The Discord was actually where I felt like the only place I did fit in. And, you know, he freaking hated when anybody had, like, attention that wasn't on him. And if it was on somebody else, you know, I'm sorry.
It's all right. Look at Tamara. You're always going to fit in here. You know, you're always going to have a place to come talk here. And I can only imagine how devastating this was for you to find a place where you were comfortable, where you were a part of something, and then to get one shocked as to what this guy was really about, and then to be jettisoned because you wouldn't play his sadistic game.
Like,
what,
I try. I'm sorry.
go.
I know, you know, like, I got a lot of flack for being in the fandom and everything, and I said a lot of your shit while under pressure from being scared of him. You know, but
So let's talk about that. If you're up to it, Tamara, why were you so afraid of Greg, and still today? You know, obviously anxious, not afraid. You're very brave to do this. But how did he get this fear and use it against you and the others? I mean, do you feel you were vulnerable, and he knew it, and he targeted you because this position you had with him was something of value emotionally to you?
I think he targeted me because he saw that I was, what's the word? Vulnerable and, you know, kind and generally caring person. And, like, I never bullied him or put him down. And even when I thought he was in the wrong, I never, you know, called him out on anything. Sorry.
What? That's okay. It's okay, Tamara. It really is. It really is. Just breathe. What would you tell the others who were abused by Greg in the Discord, and the survivors who had a personal relationship with him and Kai, either at the home in Washington State or virtually through the internet, changing pictures, texting back and forth? What do you say now to those young women who have dealt with this for?
Get out. Get out. He doesn't care about you. He only cares about his money. Like, the money he makes from you. He really doesn't give a shit. Pardon my language. Like, look at me and the Legion and other people who have been a part of his life and invested so much time and shit. You know? Like, he just casts us aside. And, you know, yeah, that's... Yeah. I'm sorry. This is very scary for me because I'm scared and intimidated by him because he can spread rumors like wildfire. People believe them.
Well, I think fewer and fewer people are believing him now than perhaps a year or so ago when we started digging around on this. You know, I started to reach out to you, Tamara, and when you were in between stints as a mod there, you went back, you came out again and left. We have been going back and forth for a couple months now.
Yeah.
Before we established this trust and a comfort level for you to actually come on and talk about this.
Yeah, I was really scared.
I know you were. What was it that finally made you say, to hell with him, to hell with my fears of him, I'm going to speak publicly about this? What made you finally decide to do it?
Honestly, the way I saw him still targeting the girls and Sarah, and I see a lot of people saying I was victim blaming, and I'm owning up to, if I ever said anything out of line, that I was just trying to please somebody I was literally scared of. It doesn't necessarily mean that's how I felt at the time. I was just going along with what I thought would please Greg out of fear. I never, like, if I genuinely did mean any of those things, I never would have gone to one of the girls and apologize. It's
I think they'll understand that too.
The way like he keeps coming at them, like, let them be. That's what triggered me so much. Like, he's not the innocent person people think he is, and now he's got this new set of fans that he's bullshitting, and they only know his side of the story of what happened, but they deserve their sides to be told too. So it's not all, and Greg's always like,
Well, I think the way you're explaining it is totally understandable. And you talk about what he's doing now, Tamara. I want you just to stand by for a minute, and I want to bring in Heatboss. Heatboss, thanks again for being here tonight. First of all, you've listened to what Tamara has had to say tonight. You've had discussions with her, for a long time now. Your initial reaction to how brave she is to come forward and to talk about all this.
Well, Chris, I've witnessed what Greg has done to his victims, to his own fans, just to anyone in general. He's just a terrible human being, and it just, with Tamara, it just shows you how much of an asshole he really is.
Now, you've been archiving his activities for the last several months. For those who don't follow him or subscribe to him on OnlyFans or anywhere else, give me a sense for what he's up to now. What is the day-to-day on-camera life of Greg James, the YouTube psycho brat from Washington State?
Well, he started out with his OnlyFans. It was kind of a joke. Basically, for anyone that doesn't know, when he got kicked off of Patreon, he went for a while with the stupid meltdowns, which were terrible. They weren't very well done. And then a few months ago, he did an interview on his website with the sex worker, I believe. And that apparently gave him the idea to start this OnlyFans. He started out with this terrible 3D modeling program. It's meant to be used for porn, but with Greg, he just slapdashes everything, and he did that for a while. He made what I can only really describe as just hellspawn content. It was just horrifying to look at, to just even read. And then a few months later, he actually decided to started doing real pictures of himself. This was, of course, when he wasn't showing his face for some reason. I mean, that was a very dumb, stupid thing of him to do. And he slowly started, I'm going to show my penis, and I'm going to show this and that. And then he showed his dick, which was deformed. I love to really say that out loud.
Well, I have to interrupt here. Who wants to see this? I mean, short of a crime scene photo,
Chris, I'm gonna
think of anything I would rather not look at.
I don't know, Chris. It's really odd because he has these feminine poses, and he's trying to emulate being like a female porn, like a female, like, so how a female would pose if they were posing nude, but he's doing it so poorly, and the quality of the photos are so bad that it's just like, I don't understand who would want to see this.
But if you look at, somebody was telling me the other day that there are thousands and thousands of fans, subscribers, whatever they're called on OnlyFans, who watch this. Is that a fake jacked up number that he somehow has fussed around with to make it look like there are more fans than there are? Or is he actually making money from this? And again, who the hell wants to see it?
Well, funny that you say that, because going back to the comics, these 3D animations that he made, when he was doing those, he wasn't getting very many likes. But the first IRL picture, the first real picture of himself, I mean, it wasn't really, it was him, but he had edited it to make him look like a female. The likes on that one post were significantly different, because usually what I notice is that he would get, with these animation sets that he would post, he would get like 2 to 3 likes within 9 hours. With this first picture of himself that he posted, this first real picture that he posted on his OnlyFans, he got, I think it was like 100 likes within a few hours, like maybe like 3 hours, not going within like an entire day.
And what kind of money do you suppose he's making from OnlyFans? I mean, how does one support themselves this way? I mean, I get what it is, and I get there are people who perform and do things, and it's First Amendment, and it may not be, my thing, but it doesn't mean it's not a thing. I get that. But I mean, is he subsisting off of this?
From what I can tell, he's only really getting about 600 likes. I don't know if those are bots. I mean, I do know that there are websites on the internet that you can buy OnlyFans likes. The comment, like, there's only about 15 or so like people that I noticed that are real people that continuously comment on his OnlyFans content. I can't really imagine that he's making that much money. Plus the fact that OnlyFans does take a cut of whatever he makes. That's not to mention that you can basically, with OnlyFans, you can tip a certain creator on a specific post. And he does make a fair bit on some posts. Like, for example, for one, he's made about $100 on tips so far. But I can't see him being able to subsist on this, because he just does the same stuff over and over and over again. And it's such crappy quality.
And why are you chronicling all this stuff? Why are you archiving it? And whether it's Twitch or whether it's this, or he was back on Patreon for a second, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So let's just, for anybody that doesn't know really who I am, I started kind of doing this all the way back. I think this is back when. God, I think this was because I started following this whole story back when he just got kicked off Patreon, and I watched his Fit Meltdown videos, and I just thought, this dude is an idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's just stupid. And then he made the OnlyFans, and I watched it for a while, and I saw him post, previews on his Instagram. And then one day I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to make sure that he can never forget this, and he will never forget how much of a mistake this was.
What drove you to do it? Just the offensive content, what he's done to
it's what he's done in the past, and what he said with the meltdown videos, that it was a joke, and it was my own little spark inside my head that just said to myself, I need to punish him for what he's done. I need to make him pay. I don't care if anyone thinks that I'm dumb or stupid. I am doing this for the betterment of it's basically everyone. So I look at these pictures, I post them, repost them, and I just ensure that he does not get any more money than he already does.
And what do you get out of this, Heatboss?
The satisfaction of making sure that he is angry at me, that he hates me, and it drives me every single day.
And what makes you think that you've gotten his attention?
Well, he did try to take down the pictures on the forum that I posted them on. He failed miserably. He also has posted on this said forum a few times. Now, we don't know if it's him, because he doesn't, with his alts, he doesn't actually say that it's him, but his writing makes it it's him. With Greg, I can tell that he hates me for this, but I don't care. At the end of the day, I really don't care either way.
And what else does he have going on besides the OnlyFans, the Twitch, the other social media that he's got going on? I mean, how is he filling his days?
To be honest, some days he'll post, he'll make these really dumb posts on Twitter. Like, I think he just posted something on Twitter. Let me just see right here. From his Onision Prime account about an hour ago. At some point, you realize you're not doing what you really want, And despite what people think, you finally decide living life as a hypocrite is no fun at all. You don't have fun. You don't have to be ashamed of your own shadow. Finally, you can let your body get the sun you needed in your life. He really kind of just posts this weird stuff. That doesn't just. It's kind of just. It may seem deep to him, but to like anyone else, it just seems weird and it just seems odd. And also, he tweets out his OnlyFans whenever he posts.
So, Tamara, I want to bring you back in here. How you doing, dear?
Oh, I'm a little calmer. I'm sorry for.
All right. So I want both of you in on this. What do you think is going on in that house in Washington State? You hear all kinds of rumors. Is Kai gone? Is she still there? Is somebody else living there with him?
I think Kai is.
Do we have any intel on what the heck's going on in that house? I haven't been there obviously since January when I knocked on the door and he called the sheriff's department. But
we haven't seen or heard a peep from Kai since November, so I really couldn't tell you. Like Greg will come and say something like, "Oh, Kai just brought me this. Oh, Kai just brought me that." You know, but I think it's really just a safe face. I know one thing about Kai, and I honestly do not think that he would put up with Greg's OnlyFans. He's a very jealous person. And that made me, that was the first thing on my radar that I don't think Kai is there because he would not let Greg do that.
Kai, as you mentioned, has been silent. Do you think it's because he fears prosecution? We know that the FBI has, for instance, material that was sent, photographic material that was sent from people.
He's definitely scared. He's definitely running scared. I haven't seen him on any active social media forums. Actually, a lot of us did get an email from Kai, and I'm using air quotations because it was clearly from Greg, and using their Patreon to promote Greg's socials. And I'm like, okay, that's not how Kai talks. That's clearly Greg. He's got control
your suspicion is that Greg has taken over for Kai's social media and emails and is using that. What do you suppose his day-to-day life is like in that house?
Oh, it can't be very good. I mean, it looks like he's living in the basement, for one. So, I mean, it really can't be that great if he's living in the basement.
Heatboss, you've been following this. Has he been saying anything about his legal troubles, either criminally in the investigation or civilly with this mess he's got out with the wetlands issue?
He did mention it in one of his live streams that he said that I basically kind of try to spin it as it's failed. I mean, I don't think that's actually the case that it's failed. I'm sorry to some people on the internet that thinks that that's the case. Investigations take time. They take just a long period of time, and I believe there's still an investigation going on. I'm sorry to say it, but there probably is an investigation.
I can guarantee it. So there's not any speculation there, in spite of what some people like to say here and there and to cast a shadow on it. The people who are saying that don't know and don't have the context to know. So the rest of it's drama. But anyway, Tamara, what was it that finally made you say, for the last time, I'm out of here, I'm done, I'm not going to deal with him? And did you just leave, or did you say something to Greg before you left?
I actually sent him an email, a very heated email, and I told him off. I said he was a conceited asshole ever since he started his OnlyFans, and I think he's gotten worse over the last year. So I did stand up for myself big time before I left. He actually created a special role in the Discord. After he demodded me for talking too much in the main chat, God forbid, he made everybody that were his closest friends mods, and he said, and I'm going to make a special role for Tamara and call it the retard friend role. And I said to him, hey, can you quit berating me in the main chat? Knock it off. All you're doing is feeding the trolls, and I'm getting sick of it. And he kicks me not even 4 hours later and says, ask YouTube for a refund. And I'm like, bitch, what? All because I asked him, hey, can you tone it down a like a tad, you know. It that's what made me leave the last time. Like, I mean, I was kicked, yeah, but if you know, I apparently wasn't banned, so I could have joined the new servers, and I never did. I said no, I'm bouncing. Fuck this. Pardon my language. I'm out.
And so, did he ever say anything to you after you finally left?
Nope, that was it. The only words he said to me were ask YouTube for a refund. That was it.
Ask YouTube for a refund.
Yep, those were the last words he ever said to me. No reason or explanation for why he banned me. And then he went on an hour live stream trashing myself and another mod, and then had the nerve to say, "Oh, she went on live streams trashing me, but he did the exact same thing." So, you know, like,
what does that say about him that he's got to immediately take to the airwaves and just trash somebody who really doesn't have a public footprint, who really didn't do anything wrong here, who just tried to have a place to belong? What does that say about him?
Yeah, he's insecure. He's very insecure with himself, and you can tell by the fact that he has to use filters on everything. I don't think there's one genuine picture of him on the internet that is not using a filter for anything. I mean, he's definitely insecure to have to do that. There's no other explanation.
I want to ask both of you this question. I'm going to start first with you, Tamara. Give me a sense of the damage that this one single human being has done to someone.
Pardon?
Give me a sense of the damage this person, Onision, Greg James, has done to so many people.
He's definitely shattered a lot of his self-esteem and self-worth, and taking people down to a level where he needs, like, I guess, I'm not sure. Oh, wait, somebody asked, did you talk about the underage girl who came into the chat? No, I haven't. You want me to touch up on that quick?
I was going to go there next, but okay. first, Tamara, he's done a lot of damage to a lot of people, and you know, to hear him talk about it, he's going to get away with it. We know that that's not going to be the case. We're going to stay on this investigation until there is justice, as I've said over and over and over again. But what's the worst part of this for you, what he's done?
I think, like, the amount of my esteem he's actually damaged. Like, I was already pretty damaged before, but he really, you know, killed the last ounce of self-esteem I had.
And what did he take from you, Tamara?
A lot of my self-worth. Like, I feel like I don't know, he just made me feel so small.
Well, you know, that's not your fault. He's a master manipulator. I mean, we've seen the show over and over again, whether it's, you know, as the ambulance is taking his young child to the emergency room after.
Oh, I heard about that.
Or whether it's, you know, damaging the reputation of one of his former fans who he preyed upon. I mean, he just trashes people left and right, and he almost like he chooses people who have self-esteem issues in the get-go.
Yeah, because it's like he uses us to boost his own ego, and I think that's a big role of how he is with the underagers. Like, yeah, I'm older, but whatever, you can still be manipulated. You can be manipulated at any age, you know?
There's no age limit in manipulation.
He targeted, I think, a younger crowd because they're easier to get a hold on and damage with esteem. And he probably saw me as a easily targeted person, so that's why he picked on me a lot in the chat.
Do you communicate with any other former mods or any other former supporters of his?
Yes, actually, I'm still friends with a handful of people from the old Discord, and I will say that just because, you know, I'm not a supporter of Greg anymore or anything like that, I don't regret the friends that I made from the Discord. You know, I still love and cherish every one of them and all the new people that I met because of the crap that Greg put me through. So it's kind of like it's got a pro and a con to it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like there's some bad, but there's some good. And I do still talk to a handful of them, yes.
You mentioned, Tamara, that there was an incident where there was an underage woman in the Discord. Tell me about that. What happened?
Oh boy. A lot of Greg would have us ban people that we would find out were underage, and we would happily ban anybody we could. And I had a you know, like, okay, so basically every time I suspected somebody was underage, I would send them a DM and I'd be like, hey, can you show me your ID, please? Or some proof that you're over 18. And if they didn't prove it, I would have to ban them. Greg went back on that and would unban everybody in the Discord. So I'm like, so why are you having us ban underage people just for you to unban them later? What the hell is up with that? You know?
So wait, you would find out that they were underage, you would ban them, then he would go back and unban them, letting them back in, knowing full well they were underage. Why would he do such a thing, Tamara?
I can only imagine. Maybe he wants another fresh 18-year-old to bring into his house. I don't know.
And how many times did this happen?
So far, I think it's only happened twice. But okay, so the person said she wouldn't be here now if Greg hadn't kicked her. I've actually hated Greg for the last year and a half. I think I mentioned it to somebody that I mostly just stayed in the Discord for the friends that I made there while silently hating Greg from the side, you know. So it has nothing to do with whether or not I'd be here regardless, you know.
What do you think, looking back over your time associated with Greg, what do you think, Tamara, was the worst thing you ever saw him do?
The worst thing. Goodness. He used to attack my friend a lot and belittle her. And then one incident I remember, I remember one incident in particular that one of our friends, and I'm not going to say her name out of respect because I love her dearly, went to Greg with a problem and that she was having with another user. And then Greg openly ran to this user and called her out. And she was somebody who actually met Greg in real life. So I thought that was a pretty scummy thing for him to do to somebody who actually spent hundreds to go and meet him in person instead of keeping what she said to him between them, you know?
So this was a meet and greet that he had set up where people paid to meet him.
Yeah, it was a meet and greet, yeah.
And so he had personal information that he had gathered from her in the course of this meet and greet. He went and exploited that and used it in a public forum.
And he made her cry, and that shit, that just burned me, like, because she was, like I said, she's a very close friend of mine, and I could not believe that he just ratted her out like that.
What kind of person does that?
An asshole. Yeah, like somebody who clearly does not care about his friends or his fans. Because, you know, she's both a friend and a fan. How do you condone that behavior? How do you treat somebody who spent hundreds to go and see you, and instead of keeping something personal that they said to you a secret, you go and exploit them to the person that they had the issue with, you know, instead of, like, what the hell? And I thought that was a pretty scummy thing that I can remember right off my head that he did. Because, you know, it's fairly recent.
Did you ever meet him in person?
I was supposed to go. I was supposed to go meet him in person, but I couldn't because I couldn't find a pet sitter. So I'm really grateful I didn't go because I heard a lot of shit went down at that meetup. And yeah, it was not pleasant.
I can only imagine what a meet and greet with Onision is like.
Apparently he was pretty much an asshole. That's what I heard. God. I heard you treated them really poorly in real life too.
Again, there is just no trusting this human being. He every account, every public appearance, forum, statement, everything he does is all geared towards his narcissistic existence.
Exactly. Yep.
That
Definitely.
crossed over into the criminal.
The way he has to belittle people to make himself, like, to build himself up is really sickening, especially when he knows these people are. He says a lot of time, "Oh, Tamara is easily prone to stress and high stress," but why would he like keep attacking me? He does the same to everybody. He finds their weaknesses and he uses that against us, and it's really disgusting.
There are a lot of allegations. We've talked about a lot of them over the past several months on this show. Is there anything that's been out there, Tamara and Heatboss? I'm going to ask you in a minute the same question. Is there anything out there that you don't believe? The grooming, the abuse, the inappropriate behavior, the badgering, bullying, harassment. I mean, it's all recorded.
Exactly. After I've seen it all and experienced it for myself, I can't deny it anymore. I used to deny it in the beginning because, you know, you don't want to see any flaws in your friends or any bad aspects of like somebody you're close to. But when it starts happening to you from that person, you become more self-aware and you see what others are being put through because of that person. And you kind of wake up and you're like, okay, well, maybe this asshole isn't the person that you think he is. You know?
Was that shattering to you to come to that conclusion with him?
It was, because I considered him a very close friend.
Was there a defining moment when you came to realize, this guy's he's a bad human being?
When he kept taking, like, you know, just what he does on Twitter, just how he exploits people. He always goes for public humiliation instead of being able to keep anything personal. You know, he always has to get up on that pedestal and be like, oh, they're the bad ones because I dumped them. But, you know, there's always two sides to a coin, you know, it's two sides to every story. Just because you dumped somebody doesn't necessarily mean you're a good person, you know?
Heatboss, you've been looking at this for a while. Is there any allegation out there, anything floating around about Onision you don't believe? Do you think he's been treated unfairly in any way in the public forum?
I don't think I think he deserves to be accused of everything, to be honest with you.
Agreed.
He's one of those people that you just look at and you just shake your head like, man, I'm happy I'm not that guy. You know, I'm happy I don't treat females like shit. I don't treat other people like shit. I try to be nice to people that I respect. And he just deserves to be met with the full force of the law, to be honest with you.
Does it shock you, and I guess it doesn't me anymore, it did for a few minutes, that the nature of social media, YouTube, is such that everybody wants answers, everybody wants to go after, be a part of an investigation until it doesn't happen instantaneously, that there is some sort of resolution. Then it all shifts back and you got people saying, oh, what if there's nothing going on? It's, you know, it's maybe he didn't do it, when clearly there's just a library of evidence that he did do it, and he has created the library himself in a very public way.
Well, I'd like to let everybody know that this isn't like CSI Miami. Investigations don't take a week, they take time. It's not like Pierce County Sheriff's Department can just snap their fingers like that and they can just give the prosecutor a case. It takes time. I know this with a lot of cases that I've read about in my
I know
city.
It because I've covered crime and prosecutions and trials for 40 years. I get that. I understand. But what is it about the media, and you're, you know, demographically closer to it than I am, but what is it about the media that makes it go back and forth and makes people have these unrealistic expectations of results?
It's just I feel that some of those people, they're just desperate. They're desperate for attention. They're desperate for money. And they just don't seem to understand the fact that police work takes time. And at the end of the day, you can't just expect things to wind up and just happen instantaneously. You have to be patient, and I think a lot of people don't have that patience.
When do you think you'll see, in your mind, justice in this case? You've been spending a lot of your free time. You don't get paid for anything, right?
I do not get paid, no sir. I earn money. I mean, I do get paid. I have a job myself. I just hope that police do their thing. They take their time. They get their evidence, and we will see justice. We will. It just takes time. It just takes time and effort.
Well, right, and there have been a few other things going on in the world over the past.
Oh yes,
as we all know. Tamara,
Mm-hmm.
how did you muster the courage to do this tonight?
I'm still kind of shaking, to be honest. I really don't know. I just felt that, like, Greg needed to finally be put in his place and shut up, because he's gone too far with his. When I saw a pedophile in his Discord, alleged, which turned out to be, I need to speak out about this. There are a lot of vulnerable people that are in that Discord right now, and some of them could potentially be underage, and I'm not there, so I can't protect anybody. All I have to say is watch out, man, because he's not what he seems.
All right. Final thoughts. If you could say anything to Greg tonight, Tamara, what would it be?
Oh my goodness. Greg, for everything you put me through, my final thought to you is, I think you need to not be in charge of a community of any kind, because you don't know how to treat people. I don't think you should have a Discord. I don't think you should have a Twitter or any place that you can engage with anyone, because the way you treat people is just outright disgusting, whether it be me or the former victims that were, you can't treat people like this and not expect consequences, because people are going to speak out about you, whether it's on Hansen, on their own platform, and it's not just because you pissed them off, it's because you don't know how to be a human being with decency and common courtesy, and I think you need to not have a platform of any kind, and that's what I have to say to him. I think he needs to not be involved in things where he can hurt people.
Heatboss, your final thoughts tonight.
Well, if I were to say anything to Greg, I know you're watching. I know you love to watch Hansen and you love the attention. You're pathetic. You're a 34-year-old man with 2 kids, and you insist on doing porn. Is this what you want for your future? Is this what you enjoy? I know you don't enjoy this, man. I know you hate it, but you've made decisions in your life which have led you to this point, and you deserve every single second of it. And by the way, I will keep on archiving all of your hellspawn until you stop. And maybe I'll stop following you. But until then, keep on making these mistakes. I enjoy roasting you. That's all, Chris.
Well, you're part of a big team, Heatboss. Thanks for being with us tonight. Tamara, how you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better than before. I'm still feeling a little, but I do appreciate you giving me a platform.
I appreciate you coming on and obviously giving you this platform is something I've wanted to do for a long time. So I just
want people to, see that he's not what he thinks he is. He's not there for anybody but himself and what it brings him in the end. Like, look at me and the other mods that have been with him since the beginning. Look at how he treated us. Something didn't go his way with us, and he will kick you the same way he kicked us the minute you do something that displeases him. He doesn't know how to talk it out like a rational human being or apologize. He will just eradicate you from your life and make you feel small and insignificant. Like, don't feed into his crap. I really, really, really feel for the people that are currently fans of him right now, because they think he cares and he doesn't.
Well, you're echoing what a lot of people have said about him, Tamara, and nobody knows perhaps in the mod world as well as you do. So thanks very much for being on.
My pleasure.
Any last thoughts?
Oh, for everything that he put me through, I do feel stronger because of it. Because now I can recognize when I'm being manipulated by someone better. Because on the internet it's harder to see, because you're not actually with them in real life and over text it's easily, and he's made me wake up a bit more, to not be readily trusting people.
All right. Tamara, thank you very much for trusting us to come on this show.
Oh, my pleasure.
For being brave enough to do it. This conversation will continue as we've discussed. This isn't a one-time only offer. You'll be back on and we'll continue this discussion. Heatboss, thanks as always. I appreciate it for helping out here tonight and being a part of this.
Hey, man.
We will stay in touch and we will talk to you both.
Hey, man, it's my pleasure. I've always wanted to talk to you, and thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thanks for being here. All right, guys, you take care and be well. Stay safe. Stay healthy. All right. Well, as Tamara said, the exposure will continue for Onision. He does it to himself in some ways, and the investigation will continue as well. As I mentioned, I've been in contact with the Pierce County people as well as folks at the FBI, and it's moving along, and we'll have more specific information in the days to come. I promise you that. In the meantime, we will also be continuing our investigation into Davi Vanity. As you know, we've been staying on top of that, and there are meetings going on between prosecutors and investigators as we speak this week and last week, so we expect some activity there very soon. I appreciate you tuning in tonight. We will be back next week, if not sooner, with a couple different projects that we've got planned. And in the meantime, you stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll be watching. See you soon.